Currently, footballers' contracts allow them to make an exorbitant expense. That is why many end up making purchases that surprise us all. Large mansions, luxurious cars, private jets. Those things are already on the agenda of a global crack, but some players are not like the rest. And that's why we have established a list of the strangest purchases of some European football stars. The stars of the world of football are known for their money. They often live a luxurious life by collecting items that ordinary people cannot even dream of. However, there is nothing written about taste, and when we talk about a lot of money, the possibilities are endless. Let's dream together for a minute and put on the boots of the greatest figures throughout the planet. We count on his fortune, his wives, his good football, and we lead the life we so often dreamed of having. What would be the weirdest purchases we would make? For those who do not reach any conclusion, here is a list of ideas based on soccer players who have played it for the eccentric. Wayne Rooney. The former English player who recently left professional football bought a horse named Tomway for himself and his wife. So far, everything is normal. However, after Tomway broke a coach's nose, the footballer decided to hire a therapist to control his anger. The solution he found was logical, but let's be honest, it's true. We can't afford to have a horse, but would we pay him a therapist? The answer is almost certainly no. John Terry. The ex-defender of the Blues, like most players, is not allowed to perform certain activities, such as skiing, to avoid unnecessary injuries. However, the English centre-back wanted to spend a weekend skiing with his family, so he bought an imaginary ski vacation for himself and his family. The footballer was seen running in the mountains instead of skiing. Mario Balotelli. His camouflage Bentley and other luxuries that Balotelli gives himself are well known. Super Mario buys a lot of things. But perhaps one of the most surprising was the pig that the Italian bought. However, the animal could not travel to the UK when the forward signed for Liverpool, unless Balotelli was registered as a breeder. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. The Swedish striker sometimes refers to himself as God. In fact, he bought an evangelical church in Stockholm to end up turning it into an apartment building for underprivileged adults. Ibrahimovic invested around $11.8 million in purchase of the 4-story, 900 square meter property. Used to being news, both off the field and on, thanks to his strong personality and controversial statements, Zlatan Ibrahimovic surprised some time ago with an eccentric gift that the player himself made for Christmas. From Sweden, they say that a forest was bought in an exclusive area of the Nordic country. He decided to invest in the acquisition of a forest of more than 1,000 hectares of land in the vicinity of his home. According to the local media, he obtained it in exchange for €3 million, with the aim of being able to hunt and fish in peace without being disturbed by anyone. Lionel Messi. It is possible that the case of the Argentine is the funniest of all, and that is that we all have neighbours who are annoying to us, or we are one of them. And this reality was also lived by Leo Messi for a while. The Barca footballer, annoyed with the noise and rude behaviour of his neighbour, decided to buy his house and thus enjoy the tranquility he craved. Messi, also a lover of expensive cars, he owns an Audi R8 Spider, a Ferrari F430 Spider, and a Maserati Gran Turismo MC Straddle. In addition to those three, he bought a 1957 Ferrari Sports Spider Ciagletti at an auction for $37 million. A luxury that can only be afforded by a player who receives more than €100 million per year. Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo is often considered arrogant and vain. When a statue from the Wax Museum based on his figure was presented in Madrid, the Portuguese paid €22,000 to have one in Portugal. The statue has its own stylist who makes a visit every month for maintenance. Cristiano Ronaldo is also known as a great investor in fashion firms, a perfume that bears his name, gyms and hotels among other businesses. And of course he indulges his own quirks and hobbies, especially when it comes to watches and cars, for which he is particularly interested. Its properties are almost uncountable, and among them are a mansion in Madrid and another in Braga, a spectacular apartment in Lisbon, and a nightclub called Seven made to his liking in Algarve. On his home island Madeira, he ordered the construction of a museum displaying his career and achievements as a footballer. But he is also no stranger to charity work, with several projects focused on children in poverty in various countries. Didier Drogba. Chelsea hero Didier Drogba celebrated victory in the 2012 Champions League by buying a 5% stake in the Ivory Coast gold mine for more than £1 million. At the time, the mine produced 800,000 grams, but over time, due to the high tax rate on gold, Drogba made little profit from that investment. Sully Montari. Former Inter and AC Milan midfielder Sully Montari spent nearly $1 million on a six-wheeled Mercedes Brabus G63 6x6 in 2015. The car was not publicly available and was produced limited to the military. As a result, the Ghanaian player was seen more prominently in the parking lot where the training ground was being used. Neymar. He is also passionate about expensive cars, and his collection often includes a $114,000 Audi RS7 and a $500,000 Porsche Panamera Turbo. One of his most publicised purchases is a nearly $9 million yacht, an Airbus H145 helicopter, and 2 private jets. He also collects watches, particularly the Gaga Milano ones. Andreas Iniesta. In addition to his earnings as a footballer, we can say that Andreas Iniesta also has entrepreneurial skills. He can boast of having 140 hectares of vineyards in his homeland, where they produce different types of wine in addition to bringing oils and cheeses to the market. Perhaps this year, due to the particular situation of the pandemic, there is no greater difference in relation to what is reported on this subject until last year. It should not be forgotten that in the world of sports, many players earn high figures for sponsorships of different types, ranging from sporting goods to soft drinks and mobiles. All of this boosts their fortunes and breaks down barriers. By not having anything to spend the money on, it opens up space for imagination. Their madness is born.